Is brought to you by Honda Motorcycles, the leader in on and off-road fun. Honda, come ride with us. Discover today's motorcycling. For the straight facts on motorcycling, call 1-800-833-3995. And by Suzuki. Right now, your Suzuki dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it.
Welcome to Motoworld at Daytona International Speedway, where the North American Superbike finale highlights the last major road racing weekend of 1995. Hello again, everyone. I'm Bob Barsha. We've got lots to tell you about here at Daytona. As you can see, the action is already well underway. You dirt bike fans, hang on. We've got vintage motocross and the National Hare Scrambles Championship coming up for you. This has been a great year for the NASB in its inaugural season, and there is big news regarding its future. We'll have that for you in just a moment. Of course, the biggest news of all is the crowning of its first ever champion. He's standing by now with my colleague, Art Ekman.
Thanks, Bob. We've got the champion with us right now, and Keith, consistency pays off when it comes to championships.
That's for sure. It's a long series. You got to be up there for every race. We're happy to be there, and the bike ran great all race, all year actually, and every one of them is a battle. You can win one here and now, but if you're not there for every race, you're not there for the championship.
Congratulations, Keith. Let's get to the action now.
Pinkstaff's quest for the title actually began back in qualifying. The Portland, Oregon rider gaining the pole, while one of the other three title contenders, Pablo Real, crashed, re-injuring an ankle and putting him all the way back in the 15th row on the grid. The first lap developed into a 9-rider freight train. Pinkstaff, Shane Turbin, Chuck Graves, Don Monroe, Trip Nobles, Deathridge, Ashmead, Harrington, and Pittman. Turpin on the 955 Ducati made the first charge, passing Graves and Monroe, and after hounding the points leader, made the pass into the lead during the second lap. Number 134, Michael Barnes, who started from the 5th row, became the 3rd leader of the race in 3 laps. Trip Nobles moving up to 2nd, Ashmead and Turpin close by. Here on lap 4, Nobles makes the pass on Barnes for the lead, right before turn 1. On the back straightaway, the engine on 134 let go.
Michael's a professional rider. He was out there and got up on the wall, and guess his motor let go. A lot of smoke. He pulled right down off the apron and got out of everybody's line. And real professional, Michael Barnes. Big credit to that man.
Nobles number 50, the opportunist, would pull close to a 7-second lead, much to the credit of his ability and Vic Vasola, his mechanic. Nobles broke the chain in the morning practice and cracked the engine cases. They lined the cases and belly pan with Flight Days absorbent pads and sealed it with liquid steel and silicone. No leaks, and the lead. Number 49, Pinkstaff, realizing Nobles was now his biggest contender for the championship, had to get it on. He was in 5th at the beginning of the final lap, but was able to outbrake Ashmead in turn 1 and cut underneath Graves in the horseshoe. At the checkers, Nobles, behind the lapper, wins the opener. Turpin 2nd with great braking technique. Pinkstaff 3rd by only a half wheel length. Beginning the final 50-mile round of the season, Pinkstaff knew all he needed if Nobles swept the day's 2 races was a 4th or better for the championship. He moved out in front rapidly, avoiding a first-lap crash. Number 34, Chuck Graves, would take the 2nd lap lead and held on only until turn 1 of lap 3. He overshot it, having to use the escape road. That wasn't the worst of his problems. He later high-sided the Suzuki.
You know, I got up to him and got in there and tucked the front, and the rear end came back around on me, and I had control of it, and then it snapped back, and over the high side I went.
Nobles was doing all that was under his control. Get into the lead and hope something or someone would affect Pinkstaff's position. It was a good side-by-side battle between Ashmead and Pinkstaff for 2nd. By the white flag lap, Ashmead would retake the spot for good. Turpin was headed for pit road with mechanical problems, and Pinkstaff would nail down 3rd. Nobles the sweep.
You know, I pretty much made up my mind. I had nothing to lose and everything to gain, so just go out and try to do the best I can, win both of them, and let those guys count the points.
Nobles again dominated the day, but Pinkstaff took the series championship honors by 3 points. Pablo Real, at one time the series leader, fell to 3rd after finishes of 8th and 6th on the day.
Interesting trivia question for years to come. Who was the first and the last North American Superbike champion? Bob?
That's right, Art. There will be only one North American Superbike champion, and here's why. This weekend at Daytona, it was announced by Roger Edmondson, founder of the NASB, and Doug Gondon, who runs the Formula USA Series, that their two organizations will merge in 1996, and Formula USA will become the headline class in the new North American Sport Bike Series. We spoke with both men this weekend.
Well, I think it's going to make a lot of teams make a lot of choices next year. Quite clearly, the bulk of our field right now has 750 Superbikes. This is going to allow them to go out and get equipment that's readily available and affordable and get their horsepower from the dealers instead of secret places.
Formula USA already has a pretty good purse. We're comparable, if not better, than a lot of AMA Superbike racing. With what's happening next year, with a new point fund we're bringing into it, EBC is coming back with the Triple Crown. We're going to have the most lucrative racing series in the country next year.
That's great news in 1996 for racers like these. Now let's check the other headlines of the day with this week's 1-800-COLLECT Honda scoreboard. World 500cc GP champion Mick Doohan paid a visit to a special one-off event at the Sugo circuit in Japan, where he beat his Repsol Honda teammate Shinichi Ito, Yamaha's rising star Nora Fumiabe, and 250 front-runner Tadayuki Okada, who was to have mounted Honda's new V-Twin 500, but instead mounted the standard V4. The National Hare and Hound Riders wrapped up their season in California with thoughts of the late Danny Hamill, who clinched this title hands down last April. Ty Davis finished over 7 minutes ahead of Paul Krause. The Fall Motocross Series also concluded in Blountville, Tennessee this weekend. Mike Brown finished atop the leaderboard with a 1-1 performance. Honda of Troy star Todd DeHoop finished 14-4, but still emerges the 1995 champion, 27 markers ahead of Barry Karsten. And in other motocross news, Doug Henry has signed on the dotted line for Team Yamaha. The longtime Honda star will straddle Yamaha's 250 machine in Supercross and Outdoor Nationals for the 96 season. And that should be encouraging for Henry, whose season ended early last June at Budge Creek, Maryland, when he suffered major back injuries in this towering crash. Now, still to come here on Moto World, action on the high banks with the Harley-Davidson Twins and CCS support races. We'll also take you to downtown Daytona Beach for the newest fall tradition, Biketoberfest. And we'll take you up north for the next to last round of the AMA Hare Scrambles. Stay with us.